Hello. Photo Night is about to begin, so please silence your phones and electronic devices. Thank you all so much for coming out here tonight. My name is Delaney Holman. I'm the editor-in-chief of Rising Rock, the UTC communication class focusing on long-form journalistic stories about the greater Chattanooga area. Oh my gosh. Without further ado, Dr. Erin Ryan.
Oh, you're fine. You're good. Wow. Hi, everybody. Let me put my glasses on because I'm going to read for you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 10th annual Photo Night. So exciting. It is such a joy to see this room full of students and alumni and faculty and staff and the many professionals who generously share their time and expertise with us every year. Photo Night has become the signature event of the communication department, our premier showcase of what this program values most: curiosity, craft, community, and the power of storytelling. Each year, our students tell us how meaningful this night is for them. Meeting working professionals, learning new techniques, discovering new paths, being inspired by real stories and real careers. It shapes their confidence and their future in ways that truly matter. I want to thank every professional joining us tonight, everyone leading workshops, everyone presenting on the main stage, every student who continues to push their creativity to new places. This night exists because of your energy, your generosity, and your belief in the value of storytelling. We're so grateful you're here to celebrate this milestone year with us. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Associate Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Amanda Clark, who's a wonderful advocate for our department and for experiential learning across campus. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Clark.
Well, thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Ryan, and good evening, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here for the 10th anniversary of Photo Night. This event is one of my absolute favorite events on campus each year because it represents some of the very best work that's happening in our college, the creativity that's being displayed, the student and faculty collaboration and mentorship demonstrate exactly the kind of engaged learning that prepares our students for rewarding lives and for meaningful contributions to our community. Now, the communication department here at UTC has built something truly special with Photo Night. I've loved seeing this event continue to grow in impact every year. Students, I hope that you take full advantage of the opportunity to connect with so many of our professionals that are here. They're here to support you. They're here to learn about your work. Events like this one can open doors that you may not even fully realize yet. So congratulations to all of you students. Congratulations to the Department of Communication. So exciting to celebrate a decade of Photo Night with you all. So thank you for allowing me to celebrate with you this evening.
All right, one of the greatest strengths of UTC is the way our students learn not only in the classroom, but through real experiences like this with professionals, mentors, and community partners. Photo Night is an outstanding example of that. The work showcased here reflects dedication, storytelling, skill, and the kind of creativity that represents the very best of our university. To the faculty and staff who make this possible, thank you for your commitment to providing transformational opportunities for our students. To our visiting professionals, thank you for investing in our campus and in the next generation of visual storytellers. And to our students, I cannot wait to see where your talent and vision take you next. And I'm going to invite you to support the students of Rising Rock. There's a QR code behind me. There's also one out in the lobby. If you're so moved, all the money that we do raise goes right back into Rising Rock and pours right back into our students. So thank you.
Nice backpack.
Oh, thanks. I like your monopod.
Thank you. Do you guys like any of these prizes?
Well, good, because I'm Cicely Hartgrave.
I'm Ashlyn Yos, and this is Karen Newstreet, and we're giving all of these away to you.
And don't miss a chance to win an outdoor f-stop backpack, rechargeable hand warmers, and more.
Start by following our UTC Photo Night Instagram, and after each photographer's presentations, we will be posting questions on our Instagram story. The first person to answer correctly will win one of these prizes.
And pay attention, because these questions will be specific and we will post them quickly. Don't miss a chance to win a top prize.
With that, we will pass it along to our co-hosts. Welcome to Photo Night 2026.
Kathleen Greeson! Woo!
Christopher Shaw!
Brynne Anderson!
And Billy Weeks! Special guest!
Rising Rock! Woo!
Photojournalism 2! Featuring
I'm Clara Paulson.
and I'm Caitlin McCaslin. It's Photo Night!
Well, I think the style of barbershop is probably what grabs most of the guys and keeps us here. You know, I sing in church. I lead singing in church quite often, so I know a lot of gospel songs, and there's good harmonies there, but they're not barbershop harmonies. And the sound that we produce, the chords that we ring, are unique to barbershop. It's a truly American form of singing that developed probably before 1938. That's when the society was formed. We normally start at 7, and we're on the risers. We'll spend 10 to 15 minutes with warm-up, either warming up physically or vocally. And a lot of what we run through on a vocal warm-up is what we will sing that night. Our director of years at Forest Stomp will sing that night. And then we'll sing for probably 40 minutes, sit down and take a break because we're all a little more mature than we used to be. And we need some time to recharge our batteries and then we'll close out with another 40-minute session. We get to go out in the community. People can hire us either through our website or the number, sing to whoever the person has asked us to sing to. They'll work at their work, at the school where they're working, at their home. Doesn't matter to us, wherever it is, we'll go and sing for them. And a lot of the people that hire us will tell us later, your singing was just a hallmark. You know, it really made an impression, and a great reward was reaped at home because of the love that was shown while we were out singing. So there's a lot of satisfaction. It's a brotherhood. It really is. It's a chance for guys from all ages, all backgrounds to come together and sing, bring a chord. When we do it right, you got 4 parts, and then you hear the one above it just ringing out. It's so much fun to do. And the chance to give back a bit, you know, with our music, put a smile on someone's face. But we know every Thursday night we're going to come here, we're going to leave troubles that we have hopefully at the door and not bring them up to each other. And just enjoy getting to see each other, visit a bit, catch up, and sing with each other. It's just so much fun to sing. Anytime I get a chance, I'll sing again. So it's a lot of fun.
1, 2, 3, it's great to be a barber shopper.
I love you so, and I want to know what you think about me, Sweet and lovely, that's what you are to me. Sugar and spice and everything nice. You're all a girl should be. Soon we'll marry, you'll be my blushing bride. I will smile all the while you're by my side. I will smile all the while you're by my side.
Give it up one more time for the Chattanooga Choo Choo Chorus. We're so glad to have them join us tonight. Also, give a hand for Moses Malone for producing that video, please. Christopher Shaw is a visionary photographer, videographer, and creative entrepreneur with over 20 years of experience behind the lens. As a visual storyteller and the founder of Final Flash Productions, Christopher is dedicated to capturing the essence of brands, products, and people in a way that speaks to their true purpose. Please welcome Christopher Shaw.
Y'all hear me? Okay, good.
Well, hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm good, Billy. How you doing?
You know, it wasn't that long ago that you were sitting in class. And what were you thinking back in those days in PJ1?
Why doesn't this guy like my pictures?
Did I circle your photos?
A lot.
And look at you now.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, look at you now. So, Chris, tell me, what does it take to be a partner in branding in your photos? Your photos have so much life and color to them. How do you work with clients to produce that kind of work?
So I'm big on storytelling, right? And the only way, to me, the only way in photo to truly tell a story is it's lighting, right? How you compose and how you bring that meeting of light and shadow together. And so I like to always be on the collaborative side with clients to say, what are you wanting to say and who are you wanting to say it to? And that kind of gives me an idea of tonality, lighting, composition, color, to kind of go in and bring my own creative side to.
So how long did it take you to build your own personal brand?
I'm still building. So I started it, I would say, 3 years ago, really being intentional about it. And still to this day, I'm still learning things. I'm still figuring things out. And for me, that's the beauty of it, because people are able to see the transparency of, okay, I used to do this thing, I used to like this thing, but now I'm moving towards this. So it's a journey. So I feel like people can be more relatable to me instead of just my business.
Okay. So let's look at your photo. So we got photo 1 up on the stage here. Tell us a little bit about this image.
So this one was a piece that I did for the Hunter Museum. It was in collaboration with an artist named Carla Bivens. And the main piece was a Haitian woman that was displayed as a statue, and in the cracks, gold was coming out to show her heritage and who she is on the inside. And so I composed, this was one image, and I composed it this way to kind of give an idea of this philosophy that I believe in, that is as above, so below. And what you're looking for is typically looking for you. So if you look, she's looking up, and she's also looking down at herself, to kind of just get an idea of there's nothing really outside of you. Just believe in yourself, go after it, and 9 times out of 10, the thing that you're chasing after is right in front of you.
All right, let's look at the next image. Oh man, tell me about this particular photo. You've got so much contrast in this frame. What are you doing in this image?
So in this image, this was, in a way, you kind of inspired it, because you always talk about just go shoot. And this is one of those just go shoot moments. And we've all seen so many different images of the Hunter Museum. And I've always loved the way that building is made, and I wanted to get a photo of it, but I didn't want it to be just like everyone else's. And so I was on the bridge and I'm walking, and I love that spiral walkway that goes up to it. And the first thing I thought was leading lines. And so that was the main thing I was focused on. And as I began to kind of compose it, I noticed those clouds. And I'm a big cloud guy whenever I'm shooting outside. And so once I flipped it black and white and I saw the way the clouds contrasted and how the shading in the trees and all these different things started to kind of show themselves, I just knew at that moment I had something solid.
Okay, let's go to the next image. Oh, this is T.O. What's it like working with an NFL Hall of Famer?
Well, okay, so I think T.O. is a one of one, because he doesn't carry himself like a Hall of Famer. When he was here this year, I almost didn't recognize him, because he just walked in a hoodie and shorts and that beanie. I'm like, oh, it's another student. Until he sat down in front of the class, and I'm like, oh, I'm thinking he's gonna come suited and booted, right? So I knew I was gonna be getting a shot of him, but again, in my mind, I'm thinking GQ. I'm thinking I'm about to make something that's gonna change the world. And he walks in, and he's very just flat himself. And once we got in front of the lens, nothing. There was no energy, there was nothing. He just played pickleball before that, so he was tired. And so it was difficult to pull a lot of emotion out of him. And I wasn't really sure if I actually got the shot until I got home. But I knew that if I could light it correctly, I could get something. So this was kind of one of those spray and pray. I had like 5 minutes to get it, but that's what I got, and he loved it, so.
For those of you that don't know, that's Terrell Owens. And we call him T.O. because he's an all-star from here. And a great ambassador back to our university. So set up your video for me real quick. What are we going to see?
So you guys are going to see a compilation of some of my favorite work from different genres. I specialize in portraiture, headshots, products, things of that nature, but there's also be some things in there from my personal liking, some very explorative lighting choices and things of that nature. As I said before, I'm very big on lighting. So this is kind of be a journey on through that from early on till now.
Let's watch. Okay, I think we want to take a few questions. Do we have microphones for the crowd? Okay. I can't see out there, so somebody's going to have to help. Oh, over here on
There's
this
one
side.
right over here. Oh, you got it.
Hi, my
Hi.
name's Alexis.
Hi, Alexis.
Hi. So the main thing I wanted to ask you is, did you go straight into this outside of college, or did you have like jobs in between?
No. Straight out of college, I was bound to go to Atlanta to be a professional dancer and an actor, and I pursued that, and nope. And so I came back home after about a year and a half, and then I would say 2 years after college is when I even had the thought to pick my camera up again with intentionality. At first, I was just kind of doing it if YouTube was becoming a thing, right? And I had nobody to take my own photos. I was like, well, let me kind of just do it and play around with it. But then I was like, well, I might be able to do something more intentional and make some money doing this thing, and that's kind of where that started.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next question. Up on the top up here.
Hello? Hey, right here.
Okay.
My question is, what was your biggest learning curve when you were creating your own brand?
It's gonna sound a little overly deep, but
I can't believe you're lost for words.
that I was enough, right? And what I mean by that is, when you jump into it, you have these people that you follow and that inspire you, and in the beginning, you kind of just want to recreate what they did, but you don't want to become just another version of them. And so I had to figure out, how would I do that thing? What would my voice sound like? How would my eye be interpreted? And being okay with however that looked, and being okay with if only I liked the photo. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
I don't know if it's the right word for more of your like purplish shoots, almost like the whimsical ones with the stars on them or like the pearl beading on them. I just found those so beautiful, and I was just wondering what it was like to take those.
So extremely fun. Let's just say that. It was a lot of fun doing that. That was one of those things that I needed to test myself. I kind of got to the point where shooting with one light was automatic. It just kind of felt like second nature. And so I wanted to add another light to it. I wanted to see how could I create almost like another world with just lighting. And so it was a lot of questions being asked for myself, but a lot of questions being answered to kind of see who I was as a photographer, and if I was to get asked to do a project of that caliber for a brand, would I even be capable of that? So, yeah.
It was genuinely beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Give it up for Chris.
Here in Chattanooga, there's only a few of us that do this, so it's kind of an elite club. After 26 years, I've truly seen the best and worst of Chattanooga from the front seat of a carriage. The guy that moved our company down here from Louisville, Kentucky, started running carriages here in front of the aquarium. I would go by and sneak the horse peppermints or sneak the horse carrots. He kept asking me when I was going to go to work for him. I finally walked up to him one day and asked him when he wanted me to start. He said, "Be downtown next weekend." I've been doing it since. Driving large horses in heavy traffic and having to talk to the passengers on the carriage. It's definitely the most interesting job that I've ever had. Our company, we all have dogs. They're mascots for us. I always have a Dalmatian with me because Dalmatians were originally bred to be coach dogs. The real reason we have dogs, it's kid bait. On slow nights, if I can get the kids to pet the dog or the horse, half the time I can lay enough guilt on Dad, he'll take them for a ride. The horses have their attraction. You have to be an animal person to do this job, but what really makes this job interesting are the people. Some of the people have been the most wonderful people that I've ever met. Some of them have been absolutely the worst people that I've ever met. What I've learned after all these years, expect the unexpected, and no two rides are the same. Everybody's different. I've lived in Chattanooga my entire life. I was born and raised here. But as a driver, it's a different way to look at downtown. When you're driving through downtown, you're driving 30 miles an hour, you're watching traffic, you're watching people. You don't have time to look around. At 4 miles an hour, it looks different. We'll have local people that ride with us that they're pointing at stuff that they have literally never seen before. It looks different, it feels different. It's amazing how different it is at 4 miles an hour. This is my retirement job. I'll do it as long as I'm physically able or until it's not enjoyable anymore. If you like animals, if you like people, this is the coolest gig in town. Absolutely, hands down.
All right, let's give it up for Emily Mitchell, the producer of this video. Woo! And let's get one more round of applause for David Faulkner, the star of that video. All right, and now about Kathleen Greeson. Kathleen, a Georgia native and UGA alumna, started her career as a photographer at the Chattanooga Times Free Press, winning numerous awards and being nominated for the Pulitzer Prize in 2002. For the last 18 years, she has been an independent photojournalist and freelance photographer, prestige published and awards. Today, Kathleen resides outside of Chattanooga with her husband and 2 children and continues to work on long-form documentary projects about gentrification, mental health, the COVID-19 pandemic, the overdose crisis in Appalachia, and the intersection of faith and health. Please welcome Kathleen Greeson.
Welcome back, Kathleen.
Thank you for having me, Billy.
So, Kathleen, what have you been doing in the last couple of years? What are you working on now?
Yeah, so for the last 2 years, this month, I've been working on a big project about rural health and hospital closures with the Chattanooga Times Free Press, and I would just like to thank Allison Gerber for giving me that opportunity.
Give it up for Allison.
Yeah.
So I know pretty much your entire conversation up here with me today is going to be based off of this, but you and I go way back for many years. We've worked together, and now you're getting ready to present some work here that I think is really important. Can we go to the first frame, and can you tell me a little bit about this photo that's up?
Yeah, and thank you for that. So this is my friend Nate. I've been documenting his life. This is him. This photo is important because he would do anything to help somebody. And there were some folks who had dogs and needed some dog food, so he threw this 50-pound bag of dog food on his back and walked it down the train tracks to him.
So is this a homeless family that needed the dog food?
Yes.
And he was not only helping take care of the people, but also the animals?
Yes.
And probably, because I've done a little bit of that work myself, that the understanding that a lot of people who are unhomed, basically the dogs or the animals, the pets, is pretty much all they have. So.
Oh, absolutely, and they care about them a lot, so.
Can we look at the next photo?
Yeah, so this is Blakely.
This was actually at a street revival in Jellicoe, where I've spent a lot of time in the last 2 years. She's 7. I made this photo. Most of the other kids were running around, playing, not really paying attention, but she was standing there praying for a while. So I made this photo, and I got her name, and I went on and, did other stuff. And about a year and a half after I made this photo, I had walked into a home to talk to a girl who had lost her brother and their mom, and he had died of an overdose. And this girl was sitting on the sofa, and that was her dad. So her dad had died of an overdose.
I think often in photojournalism we make photos and we don't really understand that they come back to you in some way. And I think this is probably a great example of that. What was you feeling when you saw that? I mean, how did that come back to you?
Yeah, it was emotional. That whole day was emotional, and it just was a lot of full circle moments that day, and I think about them a lot. But yeah, it was very emotional, and I normally don't get emotional when I'm out working, but I did that day.
Sometimes it's good to get emotional.
Yeah.
Can we go to the next photo?
This is Robert. A lot of the work that I've been doing is kind of at the intersection of faith and health. And Robert's wife died of cancer, and they had tried to pray it away, and it didn't work. And so I knew about Robert's wife, but I had never met him. And I met him at the street revival, and I knew that she had recently passed away. And I asked if I could come and spend some time with him, and he said, sure, come tomorrow. So I didn't realize that that was his late wife's birthday, and also 1 month that she had passed, and he was just sitting at his kitchen table just reading his Bible and crying. We sat there a long time.
So I know there would be some questions from people who are not journalists or not documentary photographers about privacy and sensitivity and other kinds of things looking at a photo like this. Put it in your words. What do you think? I mean, the importance of this photo is what, and was this fair?
I think it's fair because he invited me in, and I treated him like I treat everybody, with respect.
Yeah, I know you would. And I also think it's fair. But I think it's really good for people here to hear that, and it's really difficult. So will you set up the video for us? What are we going to watch?
Yeah, so we're going to see some work, like I talked about, kind of the intersection of faith and health, a few different storylines, going to see some of that work. But then you're also going to see work that's really some of my very favorite about Nate, and he's actually here to see it as well. So Nate and the work he does to try to help with the overdose crisis.
Can we give a hand for Nate?
More line talent. When I go through my phone, I'll just be like, dead, 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 dead. And it's just like, you know, no resources here. There's so much stigma here. There's still so much stigma here, you know. I don't think that anybody deserves to die because they use drugs. And I also know that someone out there loves that person. And that's their world. Regardless of their decisions in life, like someone loves that person. And I know what it's like to lose people. I know what it's like to get that phone call. I don't think that drug use makes them a bad person. I don't believe that that's
Nate, thank you so much. So let's get some questions. I can't see out there, so.
I'm over here.
Who's running the microphones?
I'm right in front of you. Wow, just very powerful images. I mean, I'm sitting here with my toes curled up in my boots. It's amazing. My question for you, do you have to get a release, like a model release, or is this considered editorial and you don't? And if you do, how do you go about doing that?
No, so for this is photojournalism, so you don't need a model release. And I always operate that if somebody gives you their name, that's their consent. And thank you very much.
So basically, if she used it for commercial work, she would have to have a release. So if they publicized it or used it for advertising of any kind, then you would need to do that.
Kathleen, the images are so compelling, and you have such a gifted eye to capture that. But in looking at those powerful images, I was wondering, is there anything like is there some inward redemption for you? It's like cathartic for me to look at that. So I was wondering, how is that therapeutic for you in some way, being able to show those situations?
Well, I always say that I live in the deep end. So, you know, I feel like I understand pain, and there's a lot of pain in these photos, and I've documented a lot of people and a lot of suffering. So, yes, there's definitely a personal connection for me, and thank you.
So we've got time for one more.
Hello. I have a question. So the one with the dogs, like there's like a dog on top of the dog. Like what happened there? Like what was going on?
Oh, they were just playing.
That wasn't a fight?
Yeah, they were just playing.
Then why did he look mad? He looked really mad.
Have you ever seen dogs that are play fighting? I mean, they definitely seem mad.
Okay, so he's just really getting into it then.
They were friends at the end of the day. Nobody was hurt.
Okay, thank you.
All right, give it up for Kathleen.
Project is an umbrella collaborative between the City of Chattanooga's Parks Department, their Forestry Department, UTC's GIS Lab, Southeastern Conservation Corps, and Green Spaces Understory Program in an effort to plant trees throughout the city where those trees are needed the most. The places in the neighborhoods that have the lowest percentage of canopy coverage in our city, and it is an effort to put 4,000 trees in those communities over the next 4 years, with an effort to continue this after that 4 years. So Chattanooga Tree Project, as a whole organization, has planted about 900 trees last year throughout the community. We ourselves with Understory planted 340 trees in Orchard Knob. We plan to plant 400 trees in Ridgedale and 400 trees in Eastlake this year by April. The drive to initiate this project came out of the 2021 canopy coverage survey that was done by UTC. It indicated that we had between 15 and 16% canopy coverage over the city of Chattanooga, but that number is disproportionate throughout the city. Places like we are in Ridgedale have about between 11 and 14% canopy coverage. Working with the community is kind of like our core value of this project. Before we do any planting at all, we engage the community months in advance. We attend neighborhood association meetings. We knock on every single door in the community to make sure that the people in the places that we are planting, that the people who live here want the trees. So I think that people really appreciate the effort that we put into engaging them before doing the work itself. Volunteers are the lifeblood of our planting operations. We couldn't possibly plant 4,000 trees throughout the city without them. Our crews are small. We only have between 8 to 10 people, so we couldn't plant 4,000 trees. So what we do is we encourage community members to come out and plant with us this past planting project. We got 40 to come out. We have a volunteer event every Saturday. We get usually between 30 and 50 people, and we're planting usually around 50 trees each. We find people from all over the communities, a lot of university students, a lot of community members themselves, people who are just interested in trees and want to take part in this. Obviously, planting trees is not for us, it's for future generations. The trees that we plant are not very large. They don't really get canopy coverage for decades. But what it really does is it brings people throughout our communities to other communities that they may not have been in, which I think is a really, really important aspect of it. It is bringing people from all over the city to new places. So that's really what we're here for. We're here to build a community for us and for research.
One more hand for Kara New Street for producing that video. And another for the Chattanooga Tree Project for making it all possible. Blake Davis is the founder of Bloom Video Production, a Chattanooga-based video production company focused on brand films, commercials, and documentary-style storytelling. A graduate of UTC, Blake works with brands, nonprofits, and small businesses to create videos that feel genuine, cinematic, and human. When he's not on set, Blake is usually running long distances, drinking bougie coffee, or spending time with his growing family. Please welcome Blake Davis.
So Blake, how are you? Oh, you got to turn it on. They're pretty good at reading lips, though.
I'm good. I'm tired. We got a 6-week baby at home, so tired.
Oh, my goodness. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, I don't know if you know this or not, but you were in the second ever Rising Rock class, the second semester ever Rising Rock class.
I do know that, yeah. I missed the first by just a little bit.
Yes, you missed the first by a semester, but you did one of the most, what I think is still one of the most interesting videos we ever did, when we got up at 4 in the morning and drove out in the middle of the country to watch them shear llamas and alpacas. And you know, that video still exists.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Another early morning.
I threatened to show it here, but I didn't.
Thank goodness we don't have a ton of time, right?
No, we don't have that time because you got good work. So tell us about the frame grabs. Can we go to the first frame grab?
So this, I do video primarily, so these are stills from videos. This was the culmination of one of my biggest projects to date, and a lot of pre-production work and stress, and this was day 2 of 5 out in California on a big project I was working on. And our actor was 2 hours late to filming, and just the culmination of a lot of, is this gonna work out? And then we get this shot, and it's kind of the first time you could take a breath, like, all right, maybe this project's gonna go at least somewhat close to plan. And as we watch the video, there's a little bit more that goes into this, this moment as well.
Okay, I've also been in that situation where nothing, everything's falling apart, and then all of a sudden, that miracle happens in front of you. I get it. Can we look at the next image?
So this one is, this was on a project I did for Pratt Home Builders, which is fun. It's a real estate video, but it looks a little bit different than what you might expect. But what's also special about it is the person grabbing that box was in my very first communication class when I switched, and he hired me to third shoot a wedding, not second shoot, but third shoot a wedding. And I used that money to buy my first camera. So it's kind of a full circle moment to have him act in one of my commercials, and I just like the framing of it.
I like the framing of it also. I think it's really nice. Can we go to the third frame?
And this was one of those kind of scrambling, will this all work out? This was for the Chattanooga Lookouts video we did in 2021. And my battery, I think, had like 8% left, and wasn't sure if it was going to work out. We had haze in a can spraying, and my monitor was dead, so it was kind of just, I hope we get it. And I think we had one shot to get it, and this was one of the shots that we got. And it was the closing scene of that film.
Okay, I know that's a part of your presentation that we're going to see in a few minutes. Can you set up your presentation for us real quick?
So I don't have the luxury of my photos speaking for themselves. I didn't want to play 3 commercials out of context. And make y'all make sense of it. So I tried to tie some loose ends between a little bit of my story of how I was one of you students in the crowd to where I am today. And so I tried to tell my story as quickly as I could with a few examples of some of my work.
Blake is a very gifted videographer, so let's watch.
This photo I took out in California in 2017. This photo and this accompanying footage of the Malibu Hills were special to me because I vividly remember that it was on this trip that I was all in on figuring out how to make a video career. Now back to that photo specifically. Students of Billy's class will remember the EDL. These photos you would turn in each week as a way to constantly be practicing your photojournalism skills. Well, with these EDLs came some fancy printer paper, which I used to print off some of my own photos, and came up with an idea for this video. Way out here in Santa Monica. Well, just like Billy making this students' EDLs as a way of putting in reps to refine our photojournalism skills. I embarked on a similar journey with putting in lots of reps in all sorts of videos. Eventually, I got better and better at making these videos. And post-graduation, I landed my first full-time job at a production company. The dream of making it work was becoming reality. I'll keep things moving along for time's sake. And I'll share the commercial that I made for the Chattanooga Lookouts, which was my first real project that I got to take lead on at that company.
Remember last year? Of course you do. Closed doors, empty spaces, long, frightening days, fun replaced by fear, traditions replaced by uncertainty.
Minor league baseball teams could lose ties to the major league that
We lost people.
include our own Chattanooga Lookouts team.
We lost jobs. Our dreams took a backseat to survival. We gave up so much. We never gave up. We kept going wherever and however and whenever we could, we inched forward. We believed dawn would break, that doors chained shut would open again, that dreams could still become reality. But one thing we never believed, not for a second, was that things would ever go back to normal. That won't happen. Because after all we've been through together, and all we've been through on our own, we can't see something as simple as a day at the ballpark as normal. We can only see it for what it is. A dream come true.
The reception of that video is pretty good. It may have even won an award. With a long-term dream of doing my own thing, later that year I left that job to do full-time free nights video. A scary but exciting step. I eventually went on to launch my own production company, Bloom, where I've had the privilege of working with lots of incredible nonprofits, small businesses, and tons of other great clients. I would have loved to tell myself in 2017 in the Malibu Hills that it was working out. And that's why the surreal moment of being back in the Malibu Hills 7 years later was so special. Here I was taking to the same scenery from when I was dreaming of making video my job. Only now, I was leading production on my biggest commercial to date. We'll go ahead and play that commercial I made from that trip here now.
I have so many things I need to do. I'm not trying to hold good things away from anyone. I love surfing, skating, lifting, running. It doesn't matter. I love all these things. But the one thing I run out of is time. So when I get done and I need to recover, it's not just convenient to have cold therapy ready. It's essential. I have to have it ready because I don't have time. I need to go just get to it, get in it, get recovery started.
I'm going to end my time tonight on just one more commercial I made. My hope tonight is that maybe someone in this crowd who has had a dream of making photo or video their career can have their own Malibu Hills moment. But the decision to figure it out is the only option. I know that through consistent reps, it'll all work out for you. Anyways, thank you all for your time. And I'm going to play one last commercial I made for y'all.
Home. So much more than just walls and windows. It's where we hang up memories and dream of new moments. As the magic of life emerges through experiences we can see, feel, touch, where we build ourselves, fumbling through the hard parts with faith, next step, where our habitat sets the stage for new habits. And somehow, I shaped you, where the floorboards hold laughter and the pages of life turn. Home is the canvas each sweet season, more than ever before. Home is the space to pause, breathe, and stay rooted. That's the power of home.
Questions?
Hello. Hey, great stuff, man. I wanted to know about your pre-production process. How much of that is yourself? Do you do the storyboarding? Do you do location scouting? Do you write the script? Like, what does that kind of look like for you?
Yeah, it varies depending on the project, what the pre-production calls for, and kind of what the budget allows for. In a perfect world, you know, it is location scouting, kind of planning through what lenses I want to use to tell the story. It's a lot of finding examples of work that I want to try and emulate that feel right, and just try and put my spin on it. But it's a lot of grabbing frames beforehand that, like, how can I take this image and incorporate it into this project, and does it make sense? But yeah.
All right, next question.
Hi, I was wondering if within your company, do you, when it's time to do a project, I'm over here, do you hire whatever help you need with it from other sources, or within your company, do you have those kind of people?
Yeah, so I hire people on as the job makes sense for. There's agencies in town that have 100 people on sets. I think a big set for me is pushing 10. If I really need to dial in the lighting, I'll hire a gaffer to come do the lighting for me, or plenty of other roles. But I hire as needed, and as my company's gotten bigger and the opportunities have gotten bigger, I'm continually hiring people to help me out on these projects.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, one more.
I have a mic down here. We have a question. So, especially for the Rising Rock students that are interested in video, it seems like we are struggling to see like what our careers look like starting with video. So, do you have like any experience of like what were your first steps? Like you said, you worked for a company at first. Like, did you stay local, or did you learn that you had to go far?
Yeah, I stayed local. My biggest piece of advice for Rising Rock students, and some of the videos that I've seen tonight have been really good, is just that don't let those be the only videos you make this semester. Use your cameras that you've got to go figure out your own style, what other kinds of videos you want, and make it really hard for people to know that you make it really hard for people to not know that you do video. As you graduate with a lot of people in the communications department here at UTC, they'll go on to be marketing managers, and if you can be top of mind that, hey, so-and-so from UTC, they did video, they'd be a great person to hire for this project. So, yeah, but keep putting in reps.
Let's see. Sydney, how much time we have? 50 seconds, one question.
Hey, I'm also trying to do something in video journalism. I was wondering, how did you build a portfolio? I'm trying to build mine through YouTube. Did you do something similar? Or?
Yeah, I think there was a snippet in my video where you saw these vertical videos of people dabbing and me going to crossroads and whatnot. It was a lot of just figuring it out, making projects that I felt called to. I tried to make YouTube videos for a little while. I also don't know where you're at. I can't see anything. Okay, there you are. It was a lot of trial and error and figuring out what my style was. But the biggest thing is just to continually putting in reps. But make it a really, really low stakes video and just see what you like about it. And if it's something that you're sharing, people will see that, and that's how you could start to build up a portfolio that one day somebody will hire you to do something similar to something you did already on your own. Thank
All
you.
right. Mr. Blake Davis.
Today we are up on the Cumberland Plateau on Walden Ridge, and behind me is Bumby Creek, and it is the only creek on the entire planet where you have a healthy population of the federally endangered laurel dace, which is a very cool little minnow that gets just about that big. They blinked out of all but 3 streams, and they're just barely hanging on in 2 of those 3.
Yeah.
So we had an exceptional drought last year. And here in Bumby Creek, we had a little bit of water in this pool back here, and then it was like 200 meters downstream before you found any more water. We came out and did rescues of fishes. We rescued 260 and brought them back to the Tennessee Aquarium Conservation Institute. Of those 260 we saved, we did put 230 back right before the spawning season in early March. And we want to see, have they reproduced? Are we going to find a bunch of laurel dace about this big rather than this big?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 laurel dace.
These fishes have evolved for potentially millions of years in rocky streams, and now they have streams full of mud. I mean, you know, I write stuff on paper. I'm glad they cut down pine trees. I'm a vegetarian. I'm glad they grow vegetables so I can eat those, but construction, timber, and agriculture, if those are not done properly, you can get huge amounts of sediment flowing into the streams. Everything that happens on the landscape, from the top of the Cumberland Plateau all the way down to the edge of the Tennessee River, affects that river. We have to work as an entire community to save and improve our freshwater ecosystems.
Are you ready for data?
I sure am.
People really do, their eyes do light up when I say there's 335 different kinds of fishes just in the state of Tennessee. People are like, what? If the public doesn't know the cool stuff that's right in their backyard, their underwater rainforest, it's not going to continue to exist. Aquatic conservation, it's the most imperiled habitat we've got. It's 3 to 5 times more imperiled than terrestrial and marine habitats, and humans need it. Just making that connection, I hope we get more support for conservation in the Southeast. People appreciate their natural heritage, and we can still have all the cool stuff 100 years from now.
All right, let's give it up for Emily Mitchell once again. And can we get one more round of applause for the Tennessee Aquarium and their work saving the laurel dace? All right, Brynne Anderson is a photojournalist for the Associated Press based out of Atlanta, Georgia. In her more than a decade-long career with the AP, she's photographed the preeminent sporting events such as the Olympics, Super Bowl, World Series, NCAA Final Four, and high-profile international and national news. Before joining the AP, she graduated from the University of Western Kentucky. She's won numerous awards for her work, both as a student and a staff photographer. Please welcome Brynne Anderson.
Hi.
So hi, Brynne, how are you?
Hi. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Now, which university did you go to?
I went to Western Kentucky University.
Oh, give it up for Western. Now, did I look at your portfolio one day?
You did. He made me cry.
Oh my goodness. I don't remember that. Did I really make you cry?
Yes, you did. Well, not in the moment. I went home and cried.
You went home and cried?
I went home and cried.
Okay. I won't ask any more about that.
It's okay.
So tell me, you have a famous photo on here about a famous singer.
I do.
You want to tell everybody who that is?
Taylor Swift. Yes.
Oh, Taylor Swift didn't make much noise that time. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, that's okay.
But what's Taylor Swift doing?
She's kissing Travis Kelce at the Super Bowl last 2 years ago.
That's a very famous photo.
Yeah, it was fun. I threw up after, just so y'all know. I was very nervous. TMI.
So, how many World Series have you covered?
3.
3. Okay. So I've had 4, and so she's going to go cry again.
So no, I don't do that anymore.
I got a question for you. Okay, because I know you covered this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an extra innings, and you know the game is tied, and Freddie comes up and hits a home run.
Mm-hmm.
How do you react? What are you thinking when there's, you know, the whole game is on the line with one swing of the bat? What are you thinking?
I'm not thinking. I'm just shooting. I'm really not thinking. That's the point. I've done it so much that the reps, you know, it's just kind of natural for me to just shoot. So I get nervous before, and then when it happens, I'm very calm, collected, and I just kind of shoot.
Okay, so let's look at a photo because I think you may have the best baseball player in the game up here on the frame. So tell us a little bit about this image. And I think all 3 of these images are the same player, but man, they've got character.
Well, they're all different also. So, and they're at different times. This one is Shohei Ohtani, if you don't know who that is. He's the best baseball player of all time. And I am not a big sports fan, but I love him. He is so nice. So this image was done like a week ago. I was in Arizona for spring training, and he came in and I did all of the normal photographs, and then I shot this one with a snoot that I made out of a piece of paper, and it was super professional. And but I am actually professional. When he came in, I didn't laugh or giggle. I was just like, hey, how's it going? And he was very nice. And then I moved his hand. I touched him. It was so cool. This is very unprofessional. I'm sorry. But he's the only person in the world that I feel this way about, because when I saw him play, it was, I don't know how to describe it. I didn't care before, and then all of a sudden I cared. So it was really cool to see him.
Okay, let's look at the next image.
Okay, this was shot with a remote, and when he pitched, this was at last year's World Series, or this last year, 25. And it's from LA, and it's up a little bit. And I think it was with a 300 millimeter lens, and it's just up there with 2 arms, and it's a big deal. I was on the third base side, and I was shooting him and then firing that. So that's what that came from.
So do you tape the lens down to keep the focus and the focal length and everything? Or
I do. I tape everything down. Everything is very secure when it's up. Very secure.
All right. Let's look at the next image.
This was at the end of the World Series. It's kind of crazy because I was the only AP photographer on the field because it was in Toronto. So everybody else was up, like in the outfield and in the stands and stuff, but I was the only one on the field, so it was a little bit more pressure, but it was very fun and very exciting.
Well, I mean, the emotion in that frame says a lot. So, set up your photos that we're getting ready to look at. What are we about to see?
So I don't only do sports; I do news also. So you're going to see some stuff that I shot in school, and then all the way up to a little bit recently. So you'll see news and sports, and then yeah, that's what it's going to be.
All right, let's watch.
Thank you.
Questions?
Hi there. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, sorry. I'm good. Sorry. So it seems like you capture like a lot of big emotional moments in most of your photos. How do you handle your nerves before you go in?
How do I handle my what? Nerves?
Your nerves, yeah.
Oh, you're nervous until it happens, and then they just go away. The more I do it, it doesn't get easier ever, but yeah, they just disappear. It's like childbirth. It just goes away once you get there.
All right, I don't think we're going to talk about that.
I have lots of stories if y'all want to know.
So, I must say I'm very envious of you for getting to shoot Shohei.
I know.
I'm a sports card collector, and we chase Shohei cards. I'm also a sports photographer. How did you get your start, and what would you tell an aspiring sports photographer? Because I've shot minor league football, I've shot racing. I even got to shoot one NASCAR truck race in Memphis years ago. But I've had a hard time figuring out how to get my foothold into doing what you're doing. I want to shoot NASCAR or pro football mainly, or basketball. So
This might make you upset, but I didn't like sports when I was growing up. And the reason that I feel like I can shoot them without like any biases is because I don't care about it like a sports fan would. So it makes it easier for me to go and cover this event and not really understand. Like, I understand what's happening, but it doesn't affect me in the same way as, like, I'm not emotional about it. So, and for aspiring, you need to talk to Mike Stewart with the Associated Press because he's the reason that I'm here. He found me in a little paper in Nebraska and gave me an opportunity, and he's right there. He's the reason. So talk to him. I don't know, other than that. It's hard because it's a very hard industry to be in, and I got lucky, really. That's it. I'm not more talented than, there's people that are way more talented than I am, and I just got lucky.
Other question?
Hi, I have a question over here. Hi, I'm raising my hand. I think that being a photojournalist carries a different level of bravery that you need to have to go into a place, especially if it's in a place towards violence. So I kind of have two questions towards your position as a photojournalist is how are you reframing it in your head that you also belong there, but you also belong there to share the story, and also how are you protecting yourself in those kinds of situations when it feels like it's going to get really scary?
I'll answer the second part first. So the more you do it, the more you feel when things are going to go south. So it's really about, I have a psychology degree and I studied human behavior, and that helped a lot. So I can, if somebody was about to do something in here, I might be able to feel it before it happens because I've done it so many times. And then the first part is that I don't belong there. I'm just there to document it. So I don't want to have anything to do with what's happening. I just want to be there and tell the story of what's going on. So I protect myself by being aware of everything around me. And being a woman, I have to do that anyway. So it kind of goes with the territory. Did that answer your question? Okay.
Anyone else?
Hey. Top left.
Up there.
Oh, hi.
So, what or who inspired you to do photojournaling? And what pushes you now?
You know, other photographers inspire me, a lot of other photographers. I look at photographs every day, all the time, and I have a huge list, so I'm not going to name them all, but if you want to talk, I'll give you a list of people. But what keeps me going every day is I get really bored really easily, so no, I'm just kidding. Not really, though, but I do get bored. So doing something different every day makes me excited about my job. I learn new things all the time, and that helps. The technology, the remotes, all of that is really interesting to me, the technology side. And then what else drives me is the emotion of the things that I'm covering. I try not to get emotional, but sometimes, you can't help it. So a lot of the school shootings and tornadoes and tragedies, protests, everything that I've covered, COVID, it was hard. But if I wasn't there to cover it, who would? Like, if I wasn't there to do it, so I tell myself that all the time. If I'm not there, who's going to do it? That's how I keep going.
Okay. So one quick thing, because we've run out of time. No more crying.
Okay.
Give
No
it up
more.
for Brynne.
Thank you.
So I was born with a condition called spina bifida, which is basically where the spine is not formed correctly in the womb. However, I can walk a short distance with the help of leg braces and arm crutches. I just need the wheelchair for long distances, and I much prefer to use that. So this coming December, 10 years ago, I was watching a TV show called Kicking It, and one of the teachers, the senseis, was in a wheelchair. And I thought to myself, how can he go on the mat without tearing the mats up? And I found Sensei Corey Green here. He gladly took me on and taught me everything I know up to now. I just thought, man, this is fun. So at my first competition, per se, so I was way slower than I ever thought I'd be. I thought I'd be way faster, but with how thick these mats are and the texture of them, with the tires and everything, I was really slow. And I had a bigger chair back then. But now I've got this chair, which is way faster. I can move a lot faster and also work out. I do remember the first competition. It was very exciting, to say the least, that I could finally fulfill my dreams of competing, and I was ecstatic. The people that were there back then, I was the only wheelchair competitor at the competitions, and the people around me didn't know that I could do what I could do. They were just like, what's he doing? So back at my first competition, I wanted to set a goal to be on the USA karate team. So I had worked toward that goal, and this past July, I made it. I was very proud of how I did. I was glad to make the team, and probably the most proudest moment of making the whole journey is making the USA team. From that goal I had set when I had first started competing, and I'll be glad to go compete against other countries in a week or so. If you want to try something, don't back down from trying. You don't know until you try. If you'll fail or not, just try.
Give it up for Moses Malone and his fall team too. And one very special round of applause for Joel Westbrook, who's right here tonight. Before we welcome our last panelist, we would like to share a first look at something very exciting coming to UTC. Southern Photography and Film Collective, we use images to shape how we see the world. Through education, presentation, and preservation, we're capturing the story of the American South. Be a part of that story by joining us and giving back to our local and photographic communities. Southern Photography and Film Collective, where vision becomes legacy. It's me again. Delaney Holman serves as the head editor for Rising Rock for the spring 2026 semester. She also wrote for the Strike magazine Chattanooga issue 10 and is continuing to write for issue 11. Holman works as a research assistant, is a contributing writer to the Chattanoogan and the Pulse, writes for the University Echo, and is an intern writing human interest stories for the Chattanooga's Parks and Outdoors Department. Holman believes in a journalist's responsibility to share stories that foster curiosity, understanding, and community. Today, she is a senior at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, majoring in communication with a concentration in journalism and a minor in political science. She will be graduating soon and is excited to explore journalism outside of college. Please welcome Delaney Holman. She is joined by a familiar face that you've seen throughout tonight, but now you get to hear from personally. Billy Weeks has worked as a journalist for over 42 years, starting at the Chattanooga Times-Free Press and climbing up the ladder until becoming an independent documentary photographer in 2010. From his work at the World Series, Small Villages in Central America, Asia, a TEDx talk, Picture of the Year Awards, and much more. Today, Weeks is an amazing associate lecturer in communication at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga and an adjunct professor at Southern Adventist University. He lives in Ringgold, Georgia with his wife Annette and dog named Maggie Bork White. Please welcome Billy Weeks. Billy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Could you tell us some more about the Southern Film and Photography Collective at UTC?
Yeah, it's really not about music, but I have a guitar in my office, and Sydney can play really well. So we wanted to do that. No, the Southern Photography and Film Collective is very exciting for us in the communication department and for the students here at UTC. It's going to be an opportunity. It has three pillars. One is to preserve, and we want to preserve images of photographers who want a place to put their images at a university. Our special collections here will store those images and archive them so that if researchers want to get to them, so your images will live forever. So if you're one of those photographers, you should think about visiting with us. Another part of this is to do presentations, and we've got a lot of cool things we're thinking about doing with this, from setting up galleries inside our building to reaching out to the community and maybe somewhere on the horizon putting together a photo festival, but I don't know, it's down the road. I'd like to talk to some of you that are here with your photo clubs, because maybe we can collaborate on a few things. And the other part is education, and Photo Night is a part of that, so this would fall underneath this umbrella. But we're looking to do things like working in maybe some underdeveloped areas of our city and teaching the next generation of photojournalists how to tell stories with cameras. And we couldn't be more excited about this. And Dr. Ryan has been very supportive in the communication department, and so has our dean. And this is exciting.
It is exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited that you are all here. I'm excited and happy to be here. I'm excited to look at some Billy Weeks photos. CJ, can we go to the first photo?
You know this picture's in here because you asked me to put this in
I
here.
did ask for this photo to be in here.
So this image was made in Kenya, and I was on assignment, and I was working on a series of stories about clean water in a small village in Kenya, and I had pulled in. I had a guy with me that had a connection at a school, so I went into the school and we were talking to the headmaster, sitting in her office, and I looked out the window and I saw some children drawing water from a well. Well, that fit very nicely into the story I was working with, but they weren't drinking it. They were actually putting it on the floor. The clay there is very red, and they would put it on the floor and they would use rags to mop the floor. And so that's where this image, that's the genesis of this picture.
I've always been curious about this photo. I have this photo in my room. And I've been curious about this photo because you made this photo over the summer, right?
Yeah, this was back in June.
Last year, right before summer started, Billy came straight from his office to the classroom and said, "They just called me, I'm going to Kenya this summer." And that was the last we've heard of it. Haven't heard anything about this trip. You're secretive.
I went.
You went. And I also have a question to kind of follow up on that. You're a successful photographer, a successful photojournalist. Everyone that's here tonight, all the professionals are here because you know them somehow. And you've made a career doing that, and then you chose to teach. Why teach?
So when I went to school here many, many years ago, I was in the medical sciences, and my dad had a big thing about me doing something with the medical field. And then I took, sorry guys, organic chemistry. And I had to figure out quickly that I had to find something I could do. And I took a photo class, and I liked it. And then I went to the placement office, and I took a test that was supposed to value your interest. And it said, number one, that my interests were very much like a newspaper reporter. And number two was a teacher. So I did both.
Well, thank you for teaching.
Well, I get more out of it probably than anybody in that room.
That's saying a lot.
So I'm very grateful and excited. And the student work we have seen tonight has been exceptional.
It sure has. Can we go to the next photo?
So I've got this picture in here for a reason, and I think Holly's here tonight. Holly, are you here tonight? She's up there somewhere. This was a series of photos that were made for the Chat Foundation, and I know that the Arts and Sciences College here was doing some work with the Chat Foundation. The Chat Foundation works with the unhomed community here in Chattanooga. So I got some students and a really good friend of mine, Mark Gilliland. Mark, if you're here, kind of raise your hand so everybody can kind of see where you're at. And he's over here. And then I took two students. I took Malcolm Key, who's way up there in the top, and he did the most amazing collection of audio interviews. And then I took Clara Paulson. Clara, where are you? Nobody can see you back there. And we set up lights. And we had members of the community, and they agreed to be photographed, and they sat with us. So there's a series of portraits from this take that we're going to show tonight.
I have a question about portraits. You are a photojournalist, and a lot of times people don't think portraits when they think photojournalism because portraits can be so singular, and I'm curious what your take is on it and what you think portraits bring to journalism.
There's so much news in a face. So much emotion, and I think it's incredibly important that we take time to show faces.
I think so too. All right, next one.
You just got to love a guy whose hat is bigger than his dog.
I love it. That dog is really cute. Glad that it's a dog and not a cat for Billy's sake. If you don't know, Billy hates cats.
I don't like your cat. I do not. I am anti-cat with you.
I like this photo a lot. And earlier today we heard from another speaker who talked about his work at the rodeo and long-form journalism, or long-form photo stories. Were you tagging along?
Well, that was Mark Gilliland's work. If you haven't seen Mark's rodeo series, it's absolutely stunning, and I love it. Sometimes I'll go with Mark. I do my best to stay out of his way.
What do you learn from long-form stories like this?
Well, a good bit of what I do is long form, and I think you really need to spend time with people to find out who they really are, and I think that's a challenge. So.
I think so too. Should we take a little bit more look at your work?
Yeah, let's watch.
Billy Weeks. Some questions?
Hey Billy, CJ here. I'm going to start off with a question. You've clearly been to a lot of third world countries that face war, famine, poverty. What's kind of the process of coming home to that, to a town that you don't have to worry about having fresh water, and not just for yourself, but also then interacting with other people who some people can't even comprehend the ideas that you've just experienced and photographed?
Well, I think there's a couple of things there you have to think about before you get to that point. First of all, you've got to, if you're going to those places, you got to go with a purpose. And if you don't go with a purpose, then you are taking things away. So you have to go with purpose. And coming back, sometimes it's hard. Travel's hard. Carrying things is hard. Moving from airport to airport, just getting around is hard. Keeping up with passports. I lost my passport in Turkey near the Syrian border. And, it's a real challenge. But you got to care. You got to have a purpose. You got to care. And, you got to do your best to show the truth.
I have a question. Or I have two little questions. Is that okay, or do I have to choose one? Is that okay? Okay, so the first question is, do you remember the picture with the guy with the hat and the dog?
Yes.
So, in his smile, there's, a line that's, on his shirt, and it's, connecting to his mouth. So, did you do that on purpose, or was that, on accident?
No, I did not do it on purpose. It's just the way it was.
So there's no, purpose for that?
No. Not that, I don't think so.
Okay, and my second question was, so outside, there was, the swap picture thing where you can take the picture, or it says, take a picture and swap or something, and there was one picture that it was a sheep, and then there's a child on the sheep, and he's wearing a helmet. And they told me that either you or somebody in your class made that. So what's the meaning of that?
That picture was at the National Fair in Perry, Georgia, and it's a competition. It's actually a sports photo. It's a competition between. I think you have to be under 8 years old to see who can ride the longest. So it's very common at rodeos.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's our time. Thank you all so much.
I've been in the veterinary field since 1998. I have seen the city go from a large collection of general practice veterinarians to growing into kind of its own little metropolis that's housing now 3 different referral centers in Chattanooga. Ours, of course, being the largest that's not in a university setting in the Southeast. So the idea behind BCSG was to build something so large that we could kind of take care of every animal here in the community and make it a little easier for the clients to be able to afford the care and get the care they need locally, but also to streamline the appointment side of things to get dogs and cats seen a little more quickly. We use the same equipment to treat and cure these guys that they do at Erlanger right up the road. In human nursing, you have your NICU nurses that only deal with babies. You have your surgical nurses that only deal with surgery. In veterinary medicine, the nurses do every job imaginable. You need to be able to draw blood, but also take x-rays, but also run a CT scanner, also do CPR. Then you're also the one holding that dog or cat for their last couple of breaths in life through those euthanasias. I think the general public does not realize the true job that these nurses do.
You never know what's walking through the door. We've had people that come in with an animal that's hit by a car, but it was in their car and their husband is at Erlanger, also from a car wreck. We've had some crazy things. A lot of people think that when you choose a career with animals that you are in some way avoiding the contact with people, and it's really not true. You actually have to be more empathetic and compassionate to people. In ER especially, I feel like people get, anger is a reality, and people are hurt, people are upset, they're stressed over their pet being hurt. But we've had some really good wins with some really nice people, which tries to make up for the times when you get yelled at by other folks.
Dogs and cats are not for everybody, I will contest, but the things that we as a society get from them, whether it's from having a fluffy orange kitty on the couch with you when you're at home watching TV, or whether we have these dogs in the line of duty working at airports, police departments, doing search and rescue at bomb sites. They are more than just companions. They're here for a purpose, and I think that more people than not will argue that they can't imagine their lives without their animals, and I'm one of those people.
Let's give one last huge thank you to Emily Mitchell and her amazing videography. And can we also get another round of applause for the Vet Care and Specialty Group of Chattanooga?
It's photo night!
Oh, thank you! Wait, we can speak? Well, in that case, hi, I'm Delaney Holman, the editor-in-chief of Rising Rock, a UT Chattanooga communication class focusing on long-form journalistic stories about the greater Chattanooga area. Thank you for coming to Photo Night. We hope you enjoyed, and Photo Night will return spring 2027. See you then. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Photo Night will return March of 2027.
Yeah. And at this time, if we could get all Rising Rock and PJ2 students to come to the stage, we're going to get a quick photo.
And print swap starts now. Have a good night.